And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond. And right now, this isn't a news video. I know. What I am going to be doing instead is because it's a little bit of a slow news day. I've been wanting to do this video now for a while, and it's probably the perfect time because we're about halfway through the year. So there is no better time to rank, let's say, the best 5 movies, in my opinion, movies I've seen, the best 5 movies of the year so far. We're 6 months in, so let's see what the cinema has to offer, or has had to offer this year so far. So, coming in at number 5, The Flash. Now, I know the opinions on this film have been pretty mixed as of late. You know, this film came out about 3 weeks ago. I really like this film. I like it a lot. You know, the Flash is my favourite DC character. They did a lot of great Flash stuff in the film, so I was happy as a Flash fan. Yeah, I know there's the Ezra Miller situation, but I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at this strictly as, you know, a fan of the Flash, a fan of DC Comics. And let me tell you, right now, Michael Keaton as Batman were great in this. Sasha Calle as Supergirl, fantastic. She made this film for me. I really hope she continues and goes on to be Supergirl in James Gunn's DC universe. So, fingers crossed for that. But overall, this film, it was fun. It was a fun time in the cinema. Yeah, it's got wonky CGI, and, you know, maybe it ran a little bit too long. But ran. Funny. But you know, overall, I really enjoyed this film. I loved the opening. You know, I did like the fight at the end. You know, there's some great stuff with Michael Keaton, especially in the middle of the film. And then there's some great stuff with Ezra as well. There's some great emotional beats in this film for Ezra. Now, did I want this film to be better? Obviously, I want for every film to be perfect, because Flash is my favourite DC character. But I was, you know, I was really hoping it would probably be maybe like my number 2 favourite film of the year. It hasn't turned out that way, and when I do my list at the end of the year, The Flash will probably not even be in the top 10, because I'm going to do some catching up. I still haven't seen Air and stuff like that, so that's supposed to be fantastic. But, so yeah, Flash, number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Creed 3. Creed 3 to me is the next evolution of Rocky. This film, as a Rocky film, was that good that it didn't need Rocky. This film was fantastic. Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut knocked it out of the park. Michael B. Jordan acting in it, amazing as well. Jonathan Majors as Damien, wow, amazing as well. You know, all the family elements, you know, the conflict in the middle of the film, you know, which leads right up to the fight at the end. You know, the Dreamville soundtrack, fantastic. This film just worked so well. It didn't even have to mention Rocky. It stood on its own. It stood proudly and just knocked it out. Just knocked it out completely. This, you know, for a long time this year, this was my favourite film of the year. Obviously, more stuff came out after this came out. But Creed 3, what an entry in the Creed franchise. I think it's the best Creed film, and I think it's the best Rocky film. So, that's ruined a Creed and Rocky ranking video if I'm ever going to do one. Probably won't. But Creed 3, fantastic. You know, I think we've had some solid entries this year. And to say this is, you know, my number 4, and I love this film that much, you know, it just shows you what a great year it's been so far for the cinema. Yeah, we've had some duds in there, but we've had some great stuff as well like this. So, yeah, anyway. Coming in at number 3 now. This is going to shock a lot of people. A lot of people might be upset about this. If it wants to come down, that is. 1 minute. Boom, there we go. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This film, again, what another amazing, fantastic film this is. You know, from the animation style to the writing. The writing's really good in this. You know, you can tell the people who made it really cared about this film. Lord and Miller, fantastic. Which, funny enough, they was attached to direct The Flash. But that's a long story. That was ages ago. You know, characters in this as well, though. You know, Haley Steinfeld as Gwen. Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara. Wow. I loved every little universe in the film as well. When the hopping, when they go to Spider-Man India's universe, I thought that was great. I thought Spider-Man India was fantastic. I think it's Pavita Pavaka, I think. Probably just butchered that. But I have no passion in what I do, so I don't care. But yeah, everything like the chase as well through the Spider Society. All the little cameos, the Easter eggs. And this film has really got me thinking, I cannot wait now for, is it March next year? I believe it's March next year that the next film comes out. If it doesn't get delayed, I know a load of animators, they lost, but I'm pretty sure they lost them before. I'm pretty sure they're deep into production, and I'm pretty sure it'll make its release date. But, yeah, Miles in this as well. Sony has a franchise here that they just haven't tapped into. Whereas they could make live-action Miles Morales Spider-Man films and they'd do really well. But right now, we're getting him in this amazing animated form that everyone seems to love. I know this is a lot of people's favourite film of the year. I know this is Kyle's favourite film of the year. Kyle's a massive Spider-Man fan. You see all this behind me? Yeah. Now imagine that in Kyle's room, but everything Spider-Man. Everything. I think he's got a few different characters here and there, but 99.9% Spider-Man. So this is definitely Kyle's favourite film of the year. And I really struggled as well, thinking what I was going to put. And, this top 3 has been really hard for me to pick. But anyway, coming in at now, number 2, John Wick Chapter 4. This film is a action masterpiece. I know this film's had a lot of especially in the circles I'm in, like a lot of people I work with think this film was dumb and unnecessary. What I'd say to that is this film was dumb, but all in all the right ways. I love this film so much. I think it's the best John Wick film out of the 4. I think it ended it perfectly. Now, yes, they're talking about bringing, Keanu back and doing it again. Obviously, Keanu's going to be in the Ballerina, the Ana de Armas spin-off that they're shooting. So, it'd be nice to see him in that. But, oh my god, the start of this film in the Osaka Continental was amazing. You just couldn't believe what was happening in front of you. John Wick finds a way to reinvent itself with every film, which is great because you don't get bored of the action, what's going on screen. The fight in the club in the middle of the film with Scott Adkins' character, that was fantastic. In the water in the club, I just love it in John Wick as well. Like when there's a shooting's going on in the club and everyone's just dancing around like they just don't have a care in the world. I love this franchise. I remember, sitting down and watching the first John Wick with Kyle, showing Kyle it, and I think we just fell in love there. I think we didn't watch the film right after it came out, but we were both saying, oh god, we hope this gets a sequel. And like a week later, the sequel was announced after we watched it. So, yeah, it's quality. Donnie Yen in this as well as the blind. Was it Kane? Loved Kane. Donnie Yen as Kane. He was fantastic. Bill Skarsgård as the Grand Dummy Monk, whatever you want to call him. Still can't pronounce that. Was great as well. Ian McShane. He was great as well as Winston again. Obviously, R.I.P. Lance Reddick didn't have a big role in this film. Which I think is a shame, but nobody knew what was going to happen to Lance. So, but the fact that he's been a part of this franchise from the first right up to the last one is, It's got to be something special for him. And his death in this film really counted towards something. And one last thing as well. I know I've been talking about action sequences and everything, but that last one as well, through Paris, just all the different, set pieces going through, the over-the-top, like video game sequence with a dragon's breath shotgun. Wow, fantastic. The bit where they're all going around the roundabout and all the different cars are coming. That was great as well. And the steps. Oh my, don't get me started on the steps. A lot of people are like, you just went up all them steps and then you got kicked down, and he just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be funny, because I burst out laughing when I seen it in the cinema. This is a film on this list that I have seen maybe 3-4 times in the cinema. I couldn't get enough of this film. Any chance I get now at home to watch it, I do. Because it's... wow. It was probably... Then this is another one. This was my favourite film of the year. Until... what else would it be if it wasn't going to be Spider-Verse? Of course it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I love this film so much. I don't think you understand how much I love this film. Now, I'm going to be open and honest here. I saw this film 6 or 7 times in the cinema. I had a week off work the week after this film came out, so I could go see Guardians as much as I wanted. I love this film. James Gunn is possibly one of the best directors working today, and it just makes me so excited for Superman. But every character had a moment to shine. Kraglin had a moment to shine. Cosmo had a moment to shine. Nebula had a moment to shine. Gamora had a moment to shine. Groot, Rocket, Drax, Star-Lord. The ending was so powerful, Kyle mentioned it the other day. He was tearing up. I was tearing up. The start of the film, the soundtrack, the start of the film starting to creep. The acoustic version, when Rocket's walking through nowhere. That was fantastic. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, the hallway fight. Oh my god. I'm going to have to weigh up, what might be my favourite MCU action sequence. It's either the Shang-Chi bus fight or the Guardians hallway fight, because just every time I went to the cinema to see this film, I just got goosebumps every time that song started. I was like, oh, it's starting. I'm going to get to see this masterpiece one more time. And don't get me started, the High Evolutionary as a villain was one of the MCU's best. I think he's one of the MCU's best, though, because he's very easy to dislike. He is just a despicable person through and through. And, that stuff with him and all the young Rocket stuff, when he's first thrown in that cage and his first words are hurts. Oh my god, I cried so many times in this film. Maybe that's what a good film is to me. Maybe it's one that can really pull at my heartstrings and make me cry over and over again. Because I'm not going to reveal where it is on my MCU ranking, because I do want to do that separately eventually. Maybe at the end of the year, once Captain or the Marvels has been out, so we can round it up to this year and do my MCU film ranking. But this film is amazing. It really is. I'm pretty sure you've all seen it as well. I could talk about this film all day. The Peter Quill and Gamora relationship, it's resolved in a good way, It's not just, oh yeah, they're back together. No, she don't know him, But they have that little moment at the end where Gamora says to Peter Quill, she says, I bet we were fun. And that was like a nice nod to it, the relationship of the past. But that's not her anymore. She not her anymore because it never was her. Mantis going off by herself, Drax, that line that Nebula says to Drax, you wasn't born to be a destroyer, you were born to be a father. That was great. And then the end, the post-credit scene, not the one where Peter's eating cereal and he's on about mowing the lawn and the legendary Star-Lord will return, which is great. But the one way, you know, the Guardians aren't over. They are going to return. And maybe not this entire team. I know Batista's done. I know Zoe Saldana says she's done. But it seems to me that Pom Klementieff said, you know, she's probably up for it. You know, Vin Diesel will voice Groot until he's 99 years old. I'm pretty sure Bradley Cooper would do the same for Rocket as well. It's just, you know, I'm not saying it's easy stopping in the voice booth, but they can do it. You know, Karen Gillan as well. I'm pretty sure she won't mind returning as Nebula. And Chris Pratt, you know, throw enough money at him and he'll do it, definitely. He did Mario, for God's sake. But anyway, this has been my top 5 movies of the year so far. Now, I haven't seen everything that's been out yet so far because we wasn't doing the channel at the beginning of the year, so I didn't feel an obligation to see everything. So there's films I ain't seen yet, like Air, which I've heard is fantastic. So I'm gonna do a, you know, at the end of the year, just before the new year, we're gonna do a top 10 films of the year. Obviously, this ain't gonna include films like Oppenheimer, you know, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Barbie, because they're not out yet. We ain't seen them. This is just a review, not a review. This is just a list for halfway through the year what I think the best films have been so far. And personally for me, so let's go through it again. Coming in at number 5, Flash, Creed 3 at number 4, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse at number 3, John Wick Chapter 4 at number 2, and number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. These are some great movies this year so far. So, yeah, let us know what your favourite movies are so far this year in the comments. You know, have you got any suggestions? What should I see this year that that's not on my list? That might be my number 1. Doubt it. I think it's going to be very hard for someone to knock Guardians off my list. I'm pretty sure that's set in stone for this year. But, yeah, anyway. Like, subscribe, you know, share the video, leave a comment, let us know what you think, let us know your lists, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. For me and Kyle are going to be doing a Secret Invasion. We'll probably do like a little review of Secret Invasion episode 3. Schedule were a bit messed up last week, but yeah, just wanted to get a video out today, and this was going to be on the topics anyway, and there wasn't really a lot of news, so yeah. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.